This video is sponsored by Hexcal. Recently I posted a few videos about the M2 Mac Mini and how powerful I think it is. In those videos I got a lot of questions from you about my gaming monitor, my gaming setup, and how the heck I was able to play so many cool games on the M2 Mac Mini. So that's what we're doing. But you've seen plenty of game setups before, so I thought, why don't we make it a little bit more interesting and include a comparison between the gaming experience on the M2 Mac Mini versus my state-of-the-art, not quite, but pretty decent gaming PC setup. I've been working on this setup for a long time and I'm really happy with it now. And as you can see here, I found a really neat way to have the M2 Mac Mini and the gaming PC in this very clean and modern looking setup. And as you know by now, the M2 Mac Mini is really only mini in the name and size. This computer is extremely capable. This is the base model 8GB RAM, which you can get for $600. And for what you get out of this thing, this is fantastic value. I'll leave links to my previous 3 videos on the Mac Mini, and honestly, I can't get enough of it. It's such a great machine. I really am having a great time with it. And talking about time, I would love, if you can, not to skip this video. I'll try and keep it snappy, well structured, and if you can, of course, if you're in a rush, go. But if you can, stick it around to the end. I'll do my best to not waste your time. After about a month of using the M2 Mac Mini here in the studio more and more, I realized how powerful this machine is, right? I gotta be honest though, it's not gonna replace my M1 Max MacBook Pro here, because that's where I do most of my video editing. But for a lot of stuff like my graphic design work, for thumbnails and things like that, for my other business outside of YouTube, it's just been great to have this option there. I built this dedicated setup for it so I can do my work and play the occasional games too. But gaming is not something that Apple's been known for, right? And I know we've had Apple Arcade for a while now, but we just know, right, that gaming is not their forte. So the big question is, how does the M2 Mac Mini compare with this $2,000 gaming setup that I've got here? Now, I know I'm bigging the M2 Mac Mini app for gaming, but gaming on the Mac is far from perfect. You know, there's definitely some drawbacks, which I'll cover in a minute, but it has come a long way, and I've been able to play some really cool games on this machine. Now let's compare the specs just for a bit of fun so you can see. Of course, we can't really compare the specs, but the point of putting them side by side here so you have an idea of what you can get for $2,000 versus the base model $600 M2 Mac Mini and compare the experience on both. The M2 Mac Mini is powered by the latest M2 chip, of course, but it's worth mentioning that it has that integrated architecture of everything together with 100GB memory bandwidth. The processor on the gaming PC is the 12th generation Intel Core i7 12700K. It's got 8 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. The M2 chip has only 4 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. This Intel i7 can support up to 128GB of RAM, whilst the M2 Mac Mini, like most Apple computers, don't allow for any expansion. The M2 chip inside the Mac Mini also has a 10-core GPU and a 16-core neural engine, whatever the hell that means. Sorry, I suck at the memory on the gaming PC right now is only 32GB, being delivered by these two 16GB sticks of DDR5. I went with DDR5 for a bit of future proofing, and if you're building a PC yourself and you're looking for DDR5 memory, just make sure your motherboard can support it. The motherboard I've got here from MSI will allow for plenty more to be added as well, and this ability to upgrade stuff, right, really is the main advantage of the PC. With Apple, you are kind of stuck with what you bought. But as I've discovered, for a lot of people, this setup I've got here on the Mac is actually more than good enough and it will last a long time. When it comes to graphic cards, I went with this sort of mid-range card from MSI as well. This is the RTX 3060. It supports gaming in 4K as you'd expect, and probably good enough for me right now and maybe for another year or so. And based on what I've been reading, you know, it'll be fine for a long time. The latest cards, which are very expensive and the benefit will only be noticeable if you're a really serious gamer, you know, they're not really that much of a difference for me, for my level of gaming. Why didn't I go for something a little bit beefier? It's because of that, you know, that law of diminishing returns. Yes, I'd love to, you know, as a geek, I'd love to buy the latest and greatest, and I will do a separate video on this build itself, but the idea was to build a mid-range gaming PC and keep improving the setup later as I need to. It's actually something that my son and I built together, and I think it's just a nice thing for us to keep upgrading and, you know, something for us to do as an activity. Now, having a setup that is tidy and enjoyable to game or work at is super important for me, which is where Hexcal, who are sponsoring today's video, comes in. They created this Hexcal Studio, which I've got here, and at first glance it looks like a desk shelf for a monitor stand, but as you can see here, it's a lot more than that, and it has a few tricks up its sleeves as well. I just love how different it is from anything else that's out there. It's got this modern look and feel to it as well, which I really like. And it's just brilliant how it can do so many things and still have this very minimal design. I think this would be great for a lot of desk professionals, of course, people who are doing video or music production, banking and investment, designers, and other creatives like me as well. Right, let's take a look around it. Starting with the main feature for me, which is kind of helping the whole setup, is the cable management. This cable management that they've got here is how I can hide all the cabling for this hybrid Mac and PC setup. Without this, it would have been a nightmare to keep all these cables. I'm running two PCs, right, a Mac and a PC, and this is how I can hide all the cabling and keep it very clean. And the same go for speaker cables. In my case, I'm using these powered studio monitors from KRK, and they are fantastic, but that's additional cables we need to worry about. The control panel at the front lets me adjust the lighting depending on what I'm doing during the day and what time of the day it is as well. This is great for working when it starts to get dark as well, because you can just change the temperature of the lights. And unlike those monitor lights that we used to see, this sits below your eye level, which is great. So if you have a curved monitor like I've got here, this is even better, right? Because there's no risk of reflections on the monitor itself. That's the last thing you want, whether you're working or gaming, right? I should just realize I haven't turned it on. Give me a sec. And they don't flicker on video. Brilliant. The lights are actually 95% CRI, so if you're doing work that requires kind of a decent amount of color accuracy, that is brilliant, pun intended. My desk itself does have cable management, but Hexcal adds even more options for me, which means I'll probably never run out of power outlets or ports to charge my devices or have messy cables under my desk. In this content creation work, I review a lot of gear, and having these extra charging options is fantastic. At the back here, we've got 8 AC outlets, 4 USB and USB-C ports as well that charge us 27 watts. And one of my favorite features, this studio has this wireless charging on top here, which will let you charge 2 devices at once. I'm actually experimenting where I place the speaker right now, so the speaker at the moment is on top of one of the chargers, but I don't know, I'm just kind of experimenting with it. This version I'm showing here is a US version, but they are bringing a UK version as well later this year. The monitor I've got here is the Alienware Ultra Wide, a 34-inch monitor, but this unit is quite long, measuring 1.2 meters, so if you want to have 2 monitors on it, this will be plenty of space. The material they use is really nice, it's this polished stainless steel, and they used aircraft grade aluminum. It does feel very premium. This thing does wonders for my OCD, I absolutely love that. All I need to do is use one power cable out of the Hexcal into my desk, which means I can keep this really nice and clean looking setup. I'm not sure I'm doing this right from a ventilation perspective. As you can see here, the M2 Mac Mini does feel a bit snug in there, but they do send this extra adjustable leg, so you can raise it even further up in case you have something bigger than the M2 Mac Mini as well, or maybe a hub or something like that you want to fit under the Hexcal Studio. I might actually try to put the Mac Mini on top of it and keeping the bottom empty, but aesthetically speaking, I'm actually quite happy with it right now. I'm getting a lot of questions about it, it's turning some heads, it's the centerpiece of my desk setup. So if you want to check it out, I'll make sure to leave links in the description for you. And thanks so much Hexcal for sponsoring this video. Another question that was very popular in those M2 Mac Mini videos was about this monitor behind me that I've been using with the Mac. I mean, it's been extremely popular. I think it's because it's very unusual to see a gaming monitor like this paired up with a Mac, right? This is an absolute beast for gaming. I think it was named probably one of the best monitors last year. And I thought I'd try it with the M2 Mac Mini just for fun and see what happens. But there's good news and bad news. Because this is purposely built for gaming, it's not going to be the best for standard desk work. But having said that, I actually quite like it. You can definitely see some artifacts when you pixel peep and look really close. That was the bad news. The good news is you get all of this extra space and it supports HDR too. So for video editing and photo editing, I found it really, really good. Right now I'm running just this one single gaming monitor on this desk, but I've got some brand new Samsung Odyssey gaming monitors coming in, which I'm really excited about, so more on those in my next videos. Now here's the fun bit. Let's have a little game ourselves here. You can join in and try to guess which one is the PC and which one is the Mac. How many did you get right? Some sweaty kids out there, I mean, they're really good at these games. But let me know if you enjoyed the gameplay by adding a bot emoji, or if you think I was trash, just add a camping emoji, I don't know. These games are huge. By the time you installed Windows as a virtual machine inside the Mac and downloaded some of these games, one of these games is like 100 gig. The base model Mac is going to struggle. And when I say struggle, I mean, you're not going to be able to run some of the games because they require 8 gig of RAM as a minimum, and that's the entire memory on the machine, right? There's a workaround which I'll talk about in a minute, but the best experience if you really want to use the Mac Mini for certain games is to get the 16 gig RAM as a minimum. But there's another drawback when it comes to storage, but for this one there's an easier solution. Within Steam you can add additional drives, including external storage, as the location for the gaming files. So what I do is I use one of these external Thunderbolt 4 hard drives with a super fast M.2 SSD on it. Then through Steam, which is what I use to play the games, I configure my default storage to be the external drive. Genius, right? For the Windows installation, I use Parallels. There's some link in the description as well. They have some really good deals right now. In essence, Parallels allow you to run Windows inside the Mac, right? It's not a new thing, but it's really powerful. For certain games like Call of Duty, for example, you may need something called Boosteroid, which bypasses the computer altogether and uses cloud computing. It would be nice if the M2 chip was supported across all platforms. It's not quite there yet. There are some workarounds as I'm showing you here, but I do hope that more games start to be supported on the M2 chip. Something else you're going to need to consider is using a controller. Of course, if you prefer mouse and keyboard, that's also possible. For controllers though, there are plenty of options, right? I have the Xbox controller here and the PS5 Pro controller, so you can see both working within the Mac, again, all thanks to having the controller mapping set up within Steam. Really easy to do, is just a tick box in Steam. One of the games that I really wanted to play was Forza Horizon, but I refused to buy an Xbox or PC just for that game. Well, with the power of desktop virtualization and cloud gaming, this is now entirely possible on the Mac. There are plenty of other games that I could try here, but in general for casual gaming, I was enjoying it the same way. The point here is about the experience. If I'm just chilling and I want to use the M2 Mac Mini for some gaming, I can finally go beyond what Apple Arcade has to offer. Which brings me to another drawback of playing on the Mac. Most games, whether you're playing through Windows or through a cloud-based system like GeForce Now or Xbox Live, will require a fairly decent connection. I'm on the ultimate plan with GeForce Now, but if I try to set up the resolution of the game to take advantage of the monitor, like 144 Hz, full resolution, it does start to get a little bit choppy. But as you can see here, a couple of levels below the Macs still provided a pretty decent gaming experience. I did find that using Mac software to play the games is usually better. From an FPS and kind of a smoothness perspective, it is a better experience than when I'm running through Windows. The problem here, of course, is that a lot of the great games, the ones that I like Call of Duty, will only work on Windows. For casual gaming, a might level, for example, that was totally fine. But if you're more of a serious player, then of course, a dedicated gaming PC will be a better bet for you. In terms of software, what you're going to need is the same on any platform, whether on Mac or Windows. For a wide coverage of games, you want to set up yourself with a Steam account, at the very least, I'd say. I also have a GeForce Now account, which is great for playing games on any platform, or on tablets and things like that. And I've also been using Xbox Live. But for the best experience, you want to be linking your in-game accounts like Call of Duty to your Steam account. And that's the best way really to keep track of your progression, your achievements, regardless of what device you're using to play. I discovered something quite interesting for serious gamers though, but before I get into that, just a quick reminder that if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up. You might not think that it helps, but it really does. I'm doing this YouTube thing on a side hustle here. It's 9:15. I haven't had dinner yet. It's been a long day, but I'm doing this after work. I just love doing content, but getting the channel discovered out there is really hard. So every like does help. And for those of you who watched this far, you are a legend. Thank you so much. After this video, feel free to take a look at the channel. And if you like my stuff, it would be awesome if you're subscribed. Right, gaming on a Mac is definitely becoming easier. And the M2 Mac Mini could be a great starting point if you want to take advantage of both Mac and Windows. I think that's the main point of this video really. It's totally possible to get best of both worlds. Would I recommend this Mac setup for serious gamers? No, I wouldn't. Something like the gaming PC will give you a much smoother experience. But as I said earlier, I did realize something for serious gamers here that is interesting, right? This hybrid setup has its merits when it comes to content creation. So even for people who are really serious about gaming, this hybrid approach could work. If you're doing, for example, you could be running your entire gaming setup on a dedicated PC like this one here, maybe even doing things like live streaming, but then flip to the Mac Mini to do your video editing and your graphic work. And if you want to see more about that, check out this video that I've done here for you. And if you've seen that one already, check out these other ones that I've got here for you. See you soon. This is what they call the pièce de résistance, isn't it, or whatever.
Pièce de résistance.
Pièce de résistance. Pièce de résistance. Is the pièce de résistance. I'm getting a lot of questions about it. It's turning some heads. It's the centerpiece of my desk setup.